Good time of the day, dear spectators, participants of the marathon, to greet you in our everyday rubrics, questions and answers with our honorary guests. We have finished to read Chaitanya Charitamrita marathon. We got to the finish, and today your questions will be answered by our honorary guest, Krishna Mishra Prabhu. It's the friend of Valmiki Prabhu who is very valued by him and loved by Mishra Prabhu. Is a specialist in Bhakti Yoga and Vedic psychology. Is a talented musician, golden voice of all the Harinama tours. More than 10 years he spent in the monasteries of India, Nepal and Bangladesh, and he learned Sanskrit, Bengali language more than 7 years, and of course and help us to delve very deeply into those languages and bhajans which are connected with them. Krishna Mishra, greet you here. Hare Krishna. I give the floor to you. Let's just sing Kirtan a little bit about Gauri Radha, okay? It will. And then questions and answers. Hare Krishna, we greet everyone. As we know, the mission of God Chaitanya consists exactly in this. In the chanting the holy names all together, that in this era is considered the most powerful way to restore our relationship with God, getting everything what you desire, getting the highest perfection. With the help of this yagya, with this method called Harinama Sankirtana, with the help of this method, this yagya is the most the thing that the God loves the most. The God loves most when his children gather together and glorify him. And from the ancient times it has been like that. In such a way people have always lived happily in harmony with their creator. And God Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 500 years ago, Mahavadanya avatar, that is the best incarnation of the most merciful incarnation of God. He came down to remind the life beings that getting the best perfection and restoring our eternal relationship, eternal love relationship with God is possible with this method, the highest method of Bhakti Yoga. With this, he showed us what it means to be a devotee of God on his own example. How to pray to God, with which feeling, with which mood, how to pray to him, the holy names together. God Chaitanya showed it all, and also he gave his teaching, the teaching of God Chaitanya. He said that this time my appearance consists exactly in this, to preach with the help of Kirtan. Sankirtana Arambha Avatar.
Sankirtanu начать. Амар аватар. Цель моего явления.
the goal of my to start Sankirtana. I will make on all the planet the preaching with the help of Kirtan. Exactly in this Kirtan we can feel the presence of God, the joy, the bliss of communication with Him, and solve all our material and spiritual problems, and go back home. Let's 3-5 minutes we follow this advice from God Chaitanya and make a little kirtan.
Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Saminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shadi Paschatya Deshatari Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gauru Bhakta Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gauru Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Gauranga Nitai 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 Gauranga Sachinandana Jai 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 Sachinandana Gaura Hare Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hare Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hare Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gora Hari Bol. जय जय श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय, प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंता कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, नीता गोपे मा। हरे कृष्णा गौरी राधा श्री गौरी राधा।
Thank you very much for this singing and going deep. Thank you very much for this kirtan. And we're going to the questions and answers. And this is our first question that we ask all our guests. Tell me, please, what really inspiring you in Chaitanya Charitamrita?
Chaitanya Charitamrita значит
Chaitanya Charitamrita means it's the biography of the God Chaitanya. It means the nectar. Amrita is nectar. Charita, action. It's the nectar of the actions. Nectar of his life. The nectar of his deeds of God Chaitanya. Of course, it is the closest incarnations to us in time. It wasn't so long time ago, only 500 years ago, and he got incarnated in the most merciful form with the aim of to liberate all the life beings of this planet, despite how they fell. Especially now, a person can think, for me to progress spiritually, I am fallen, I have many sins, but God Chaitanya showed on the example of his own life, his teaching and his deeds, that he doesn't look at that. We know stories regarding this from Chaitanya Charitamrita, when he liberated many fallen sinners independently from their background, their level, their conscious, and even animals like dogs, when he was going through the forest. And there is the famous story about Jagai Madhar, biggest mafioso at that time. At this time, for Brahmins, it was considered even more sinful to do actions that contradict the scriptures. And they were making all of them many times, thousands of times. And they were considering that the house where this Jagai Madhai lived, everybody has to circle and not go near it. But he sent there and Haridas Thakur and other people save all the fallen. Even if in the beginning they didn't want to accept this mercy, even God Nityananda suffered from communication with them. God Chaitanya, anyway, saved them from imminent death, from falling. All the world, during Kali Yuga especially, has gone mad about lifestyle, chasing the bodily materialistic pleasures, materialistic way of chasing the money and all kinds of material comforts, have gone mad. And this verse, it is said, I surrender to God Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who freed the people of Kali Yuga from the material existence and gave them, instead of the material madness, the spiritual madness, the madness of love to God. In any case, a person is striving according to its nature. It has a lot of bliss, and he has to direct his feelings somewhere. And in the beginning, his feelings are directed to the source. Everybody of us has eternal and very close relationship with God, and God Chaitanya came to give this possibility to show to this craziness of love to God, but not to love to sins and sinful way of life. It would only become the reason of suffering, helpful existence. Is it our interest? No. Our interest is to be in the joyful, blissful state in a way that there are no bad consequences. Eternal joy and bliss. That's why God Chaitanya made everyone crazy in the love of for the love of God, but not sinful way of life. And this is the amazing role of God, that only rarely, once in 1,000 Kali Yugas, he comes. We are in this Yuga when he came. It's a special privilege and it's a special possibility now to take part in this mission and make our life and lives of ours completely different. Is in short the story about Jagamadha. We can speak a lot about this. Thank you very much. A second question. Why God Chaitanya gave the method of chanting together the holy name? Why chanting? Why not only saying? And why should we do it together? Because he brought here in the material world the process, the joyful process of communication with God, such as it exists in the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, we know often it is said that every step is a dance, every word is a song, and the soul in its primordial state wants to dance in the round of close friends, in the circle of beloved and loving friends and consorts, like-minded people who want to glorify God. But in the spiritual world, everybody glorifies God. Even an insect, even a grass, every atom. So here as well, what is the difference between spiritual and material world? Material world, Spiritual world means we remember about God. Material world, it means that we forgot about Him. But the striving still remains because it is our primordial innate state. It is our nature. That's why we see everywhere in each culture there are songs, there are dances. The person always wants to communicate, to dance, to be joyful, but initially it is done for God, and when it is done for God, then the sense of this joy and of these actions is in its natural state. The application of these songs and dances exactly to God. Here also people sing all the songs. There are many songs about love. It's a subconscious nostalgia to that love of God. A person sees that love in this world is impossible to realize, often leads to suffering and insatisfaction. Why? Because of love is eternal. The object of love is not a temporary body that a person chooses in their life, feeling subconsciously that I need to love someone, I have to be loved, but not finding this object and searching for it in different forms from life to life. Animals and insects, they also have love. Until we remember or we will be reminded that the wish to love and to be loved comes from the spiritual world and it is applied solely to God. Exactly because of this, that's why here we search for the subject. Everybody wants that his object of love is ideal, beautiful, perfect, with all the wonderful qualities. This is Krishna. This is God. And to dance for Him, to dance together with Him, sing for Him and sing together with Him. This is our natural state that exists in the spiritual. Exactly the state of the spiritual world God Chaitanya brought here and said, Jiv Jago. On the knees of illusion, how much will you sleep? Dancing for, doesn't matter for whom. Anyway, you are dancing for someone. Anyway, you are singing for someone. So remember, wake up. Gaurachandra says, how much will you sleep? And also Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings this bhajan. I brought you the cure from oblivion, from these illusions. And what is this cure that will awaken, that will free? When a person is ill or when he's sleeping, what can awaken him? A sound. And also one can be cured by sounds, with mantras, with spells. And thus he says that the cure from this oblivion, the cure from this depression of the material emptiness, that where there is no way to go. He said, get up and dance together with the devotees for God. How to do it? I showed it. I said everything about the way how to do it. I showed it on my own example, how it was during God Chaitanya's times and how it's happening, continuing. So accept this cure that will cure you with all your enthusiasm. If we find the cure that will cure this endless illness, that I'm already tired to search for the medicine from life to life, here God Chaitanya comes and says, I brought medicine from Maya. Harinam Mahamantra. So accept this Harinam Mahamantra and dance in ecstasy, and you will be freed from this illusion, from this material existence spell that put a spell on everyone and convinces you that you are good here in the other world. That's why for us it is important to remember to wake up, and with the method of this medicine, maybe in the beginning we cannot understand why I don't want to sing and dance. I just want to sit quietly somewhere in a cave that nobody sees me, to meditate. But initially we're all in the spiritual world, we are joyful and glorifying the God together. If we do all this together, the force grows exponentially. If I myself, I might have some different thoughts that disturb me, but if it's a strong, enthusiastic kirtan, together enthusiastic devotees in ecstasy of love, they are singing, then we will forget about mental disturbing. Our mind will just dive into the spiritual bliss, and we will understand, we will think, why before that I didn't understand that song and dances which glorify God. This is exactly the and at the same time is my natural state. Thus, the chanting of the holy names all together, when we can imagine stadiums, thousands of people, soon it will come. People will be just in madness of bliss, of their love to God, chanting, and everybody. This is the goal of life. This is the solving of all my problems. And all the rest, some material needs, will just be realized, such as effect. When the person is not only thinking about that, but doing the main yagya, the main goal of his life, we will not even notice all the material needs. They will just get realized come to our life by themselves, but the chanting of the holy name altogether, it is a very powerful medicine, powerful tool of restoring our love to God. Hare Krishna.
Спасибо большое. Вот вы упомянули про баджан, и у нас вопросов есть несколько на тему
You said about bhajan, and we have some questions about bhajans. Please tell of singing bhajans. Why do we have to sing them if there is Hare Krishna Mahamantra? Isn't it enough? Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the concentration, the essence of all the prayers. Since Hare Krishna mantra is the sound form of God, and when we repeat Hare Krishna mantra attentively and talking to God,
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama.
with the
Хватаясь за последнее прибежище,
trying to grasp the last resort, understanding that being in this material world among the myriads, endless myriads of all the planets and life beings, I'm just lost. What can happen anytime? Where will I fly after the death of my body? Where will I go? This is a state, helpless state. If a little child is lost somewhere in megapolis, his state of helplessness and panic and fear, we're all lost in all the universes. There are myriads of such life beings, us, endless number. And with which enthusiasm we need to appeal to God. And that's why if we practice chant Hare Krishna mantra under guidance, also individually on beads, how God Chaitanya together with the devotees, or being alone, always remembering God and singing Hare Krishna mantra attentively and appealing to God, we understand that this mantra, it's a sound which is not different from God. Mantra reveals us its real meaning, that it's Krishna himself, and then we understand it's not just a group of words we don't understand. A person from the side might think this are some strange words that I don't understand, a language that I don't know. But if we start practicing, the understanding comes that in this form the God himself is present, because this mantra came to us from the very beginning of the creation, or on the chain of the and disciples, and the sages were passing it on carefully so that this knowledge could come to us, so that people could restore their relationship with God. At that time there were no languages, Hindi, Russian, English, and that's why it is, if we repeat this spiritual sound that also exists in other spiritual planets, we don't need anything. But bhajans exist. Bhajan means a prayer in the form of a song. We sing songs, as we told before, It is our joyful and natural state and pastime. When we're busy with something, we sing, we think about something, and thus singing always remembering God is the most beneficial in every time, any time. When a person is doing something, always they sing something, isn't it? Or they're busy with something at work. Same gopis or inhabitants of Vrindavan or just inhabitants villages do something at home. They're just making butter or any other things in the fields. Then the time will pass quicker and it will be more joyful if we remember about God, His games, why I'm doing all that, who gave me this possibility to give it all, who is this amazing personality I can offer all my deeds to. And that's why we sing all these songs and qualities of God. It makes life very joyful and it's very uplifting. Instead of singing some material songs that just take away our energy, but when we remember about the source of all the energy, we are filled. The day is finishing quickly. I have just, and already the day has finished, and I'm not tired, and I'm full of enthusiasm. People communicate. On the spiritual level, the joy is spiritual. What does it mean? It's like gold and a usual iron. So this communication is of the highest quality. For the joy, there is no need to do some sinful, worldly actions. Getting joy from lower things which are not connected with the desire of God. No, on the spiritual level, we're always in bliss of the highest level. And same acharyas, or they create these bhajans, these prayers, and they suggest us as well to sing these prayers in order to remember God and His qualities even more, to express in this way our devotion to God, to exchange relationships with Him. There are many prayers of Bhaktivinoda Thakur appealing to Krishna from a very humble state. I am very fallen, I am so useless without you. Where can I go? What can I do without your mercy, without your attention? Our love is eternal, but now I have forgotten about this love. Please, only you can remind me of that. Do not forget about me. Don't leave me in this endless ocean. Bhajans. And when we sing them in Bengali, for example, of course, to understand why I am singing it, to deepen my appeal to God emotionally. Also the same about reading the Holy Scriptures. Of course, it is important to understand the Bengali, if it's Bengali or Sanskrit, at least to some point. That's why Bhakta Saraswati Acharya was saying that in the future devotees will learn Bengali to learn Chaitanya Charitamrita. Like this, they will be able to feel this amazing taste that the writer of Chaitanya himself felt, so that the subtle feelings and emotions that can be lost in translation to different languages. That's why us, this is our professional interest, we can say so. It's a very beautiful, sweet language, Bengali. God Chaitanya taught it, and all our parampara, they're all Bengalis, starting from God Chaitanya and six Goswami and Srila Prabhupada, they're Bengalians. In Bengali, there are many things which are the famous Bengal sweets and Bengal lights and Bengal songs and tigers. And it's the closest language to Sanskrit. So, such as professionally doctors Latin, same, all the devotees who are in parampara of God Chaitanya, you can say it's his duty, professional duty, you can say that, to learn Bengali. And like this we can delve even deeper in this. Of course, to understand and to delve deep into these feelings of the relationship with Krishna and with his devotees, the gurus, it's important to understand what I am singing. The only way to obtain the spiritual perfection. That's why I if we understand what we are singing about, so the same feeling that there was feeling, we also can feel it. The ocean of for this servant, give the mercy by giving the shadow of your feet. Purify me, please. I am holding your feet. And then these feelings, we will feel them even deeper and will penetrate into the feeling of the point of our relationship with God. Acharyas suggest on their own example always to be singing bhajans along with other methods of remembering God. Narottam Das Thakur, how many prayers and bhajans he created, and also we sing them. We feel the bhava of the communication with God. Sankirtan, chanting together, individual chanting japa, singing bhajans, reading the whole, discussing them. So many ways of remembering him. You got bored of reading japa? Okay, I will go to bhajans. You have sung some bhajans? Then next I can read and then to sing and to dance and so many things. You are tired of all this, you got fed up, you got You can go and eat some prasad.
Hare Krishna.
So many things. Hare Krishna.
Спасибо большое. Спасибо.
Thank you very much.
Вопрос такой, чтобы баджаны исполнять, нужна ли какая-то квалификация?
Do we need anyone to sing bhajans? Anyone can do it.
Может быть, вы расскажете,
And maybe you
какой
can
ваш
tell
самый любимый баджан?
which is
Который
your
вас
favorite
такой
bhajan.
запрос, может быть,
And
или просто вдохновение?
maybe you could even sing it if you have inspiration.
Квалификация, конечно, Господь от нас квалификация только одной хочет видеть.
God wants only one qualification from us.
Стремление к Нему,
To reach Him.
рвение
The enthusiasm.
к Нему. Остальное все приложено,
And all the rest will follow.
то какие-то материальные качества, материальные именно матерификация в духовной жизни второстепенно.
The material qualifications in the spiritual life are secondary. There is the wish
Вернуться к Богу,
to go back to Godhead,
желание общаться,
the wish to communicate with Him,
общаться с Его преданными,
the wish to communicate with His devotees,
делать Его дело, миссию,
to
желание.
do His mission.
И вот это именно Он хочет видеть,
And exactly this is what He wants to see
которых сам
in the life beings, that He loves endlessly Himself.
как сам говорит, дорогой
And also, this is the answer of Jiva when she says, "Dear God, I want to go to you. I'm so and not always I can express this love to you, but the desire itself and the understanding that there is no higher and better object, no better friend, no
друга, нет более любимого больше,
better loved friend, a better personality. I don't have another home.
пожалуйста, помоги мне, не забывай меня, помоги
Just so please help me. Don't forget me. Help me to get back to you and help me to go through all the obstacles."
мне.
This is the mood.
Он не смотрит, если при этом
And he doesn't look if
данные
there is a data,
материальные, слух,
material data.
к кем обращаться и даже без материальных.
Also,
Ну, для кого кто-то, может быть, кому-то будет не нравиться, это он уйдет. Ну, кто-то
maybe somebody doesn't like it. Somebody will feel
будет подпевать, чувствует,
sincerely,
что Господь проявился.
feeling that the God has manifested Himself here along,
Все уйдут,
and it's nice to be here.
будем
And if everybody will go away, we will be with God face to face, together with.
один на один петь.
We will be singing one on one.
Шрила Прабхупад часто он один перед алтарем
Srila
пел
Prabhupada,
помощь.
very often, he was singing alone at the altar.
Друзья, пардон, перед тем, как он поехал в Америку,
Before he left to America, his friends tell that he was surrendering to chanting to God by himself a whole night.
преданный его друг, вспоминает.
One friend remembers.
Воспевание имен.
Since it's the highest method,
Перед красивыми
the
божествами.
chanting, so he was at the altar in front of the beautiful deities. He was just.
Поэтому это то, что Господь ждет его.
This is what God is waiting from us
Последователи Господа
initially.
Чайтаньи,
But we also know that there are many
Васудев, Датта,
many followers of God Chaitanya,
Дада.
Mukunda Datta, Vasudev
Мы
Datta.
были в Бангладеше,
Remember, we were in
следовали жить
Bangladesh when we
в
were chanting, when we were preaching, and we were living in those places of God Chaitanya in Bengalia, in Bangladesh.
место, где
There is the place where
жили и медитировали, Баджан Кутир, Васудева Датта,
Vasudeva Datta, Bhajan Mukunda Datta were living and preaching.
жил Пундарик Видянидхи,
Nearby there was Kundari Nidyanidhi was living, who helped them, supported them.
Кутир, где они
He built Bhajan Kutir where they would go and go alone and sing and chant for the God. And it is said that these sweet voices, from these sweet voices, immersed in bhakti, the tears were just flowing. And they had this qualification that God Chaitanya, when he heard them, he just couldn't stop crying profuse. Narottam Das Thakur also had a very sweet, nice and melodic voice. Mridanga. The school of Mridanga of Narottam Das Thakur is also Bengal. This is the main. If you have some qualities, people can be attracted. Those people for whom is important to hear also some material thing along with the singing. If you have them, it's good, you have to develop them. But remember that the foundation of this is the love and to God, not singing itself. People are attracted, and so that's why during Harinama Kirtan the same. It is important to know not such a so I'm so beautiful and handsome for the people, I have such a beautiful voice, look at me, but people are got used in this world to attract attention to themselves. It's important to sing for God and see the particles of God in everyone and everything, and also imagine that they should glorify Him in the same way and sing for Krishna with love and devotion. And they will be attracted to you without even understanding why. Because they will feel this state of love they have inside always will be manifested in this moment. Also, if you don't have material qualities for singing, it's not important after God for Krishna. And there are many different bhajans. There are many devotees in Bengal, and that's why God came to Bengali. We may ask why not the God comes. God is always attracted by love. And in this love, it happens like that in those places love God more. This culture is more conserved in Kali Yuga. 500 years ago, during Kali Yuga, what was happening in Europe? Here it was about the Ivan Grozny Tsar in Russia. Also, there were some crazy things, Renaissance. That's why it appears where people are waiting for him and where they want to communicate with him. And at that time it was Bengal. And now this mission of God is just invading the whole planet and the whole universe. The God Chaitanya will appear. They sing with love and devotion together. Thousands of people will gather together, sing, and he will be appearing everywhere. Even he will be seen by devotees. There will be miracles happen. He just wants to go where people love him more. Bengali devotees, there are so many people with sweet voices, and if it's also connected with bhakti, that they are taught from childhood to love God and to understand that this is the goal of your life, and it's put together, then of course it's very good. And it inspires everybody around you even more. There are many bhajans. For example, the bhajan of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He sings. God Chaitanya sings voice. God Chaitanya sings with the sweet voice. Ga means sings. Gaura, Gauranga. Madhur. Madhur, sweet. Svari or Shvori in Bengali, with the voice.
Ashton поет и Hare Krishna mantra.
What's he singing? Hare Krishna mantra.
Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Gare Madhur Sare, Gare Sare. Grihe thako, Sada Hari, Bole Dako. Thako, Grihe, Dom. Grihe thako, Doma thako, живешь.
We also know Shukha Dukha means in joy, in sorrow. It doesn't matter the joy or sorrow. With the devotion, sing Harinam. This bhajan sings Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Maya jale boddo hoy, acho michi kajeloy. And then he sings. Having got to the net of Maya, how can I get out? I am just entangled in the the person is doing useless job for life in the nets of Maya. He thinks I'm doing so many good things for people, for myself, for everyone. I got so much. I built a house. I did something for people. No, when the death will come, they will say, how many people you gave the knowledge of God, how many people you reminded people about God, how many people did you inspire to serve God? Your billions, and whatever you built is not needed to nobody needs it. That's why it is sad. Person is doing useless things if he doesn't remind anyone about God. Now the conscience received the human form of life and developed conscious, finally you can apply it correctly in your own interest. Just sing and chant the names of Radha Madhava. So, in this way, God Chaitanya sings, and then he says, life is finishing. Inevitably for everyone. In England they say, as sure as death, it will happen for sure. Nobody will be able to avoid it. It's important to prepare. And that's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur is singing, life has finished, and I wasn't even glorifying God and owing my obeisances. And now, once, taste the name of God in the bliss of God's name. Get dizzy, drunk with the name of God at least once. When Guru Maharaj sent us to preach there to Bengal, to Bangladesh, then I came to Bangladesh, and in our we met with Patri Prabhu, and there were several other devotees from Russia. And after some time, Prahlachan Prabhu joined us from Australia. Atul Krishna Prabhu. And foreign devotees started to preach there and getting this taste. It's important for everyone, of course, to get this taste from the source. War transformations. The culture obviously is the same. It's the universal culture, not that every country had its own culture. It was the universal culture given by God. But here it is conserved less. There have been different transformations and revolutions and so on. But there, that culture, it was conserved more. And with the material vision, not having entered into this internal state of this land, Bengal, I didn't see big interest or enthusiasm or wish to stay there for a long time. Seen with the material eyes, it wasn't very appealing. So much dirt. There were more people when you stop on the road driving in a car or in motor rickshaw. So many people just surround you, homeless, and ask. They just touch you once and you are already dirty, all in stains. It's impossible to breathe there. So much burned things and the air is dirty. I was thinking, why did they come here? Krishna, Krishna. If I had money, I would have left immediately. The material vision just scared me off. At that time, now it's better in Bangladesh, but it's the poorest country in the material world, in the material meaning. There's a chaos on the streets, so many people and dirt, and I was thinking, okay, I will come as soon as possible and go to the temple and do something, of course, and then to go away. I will find an excuse. And I came to the temple with the material vision. I am entering the temple. That the devotees supported me. If we didn't have all that fire of enthusiasm and vigorousness of devotees, Patri Prabhu and others, would have been difficult. There were some devotees who joined later, and everybody was, oh, Haribol. What do they find so special here? It's so dirty, you cannot be alone, and so much noise and people. The temple is open like in Vrindavan we see. There's like in the middle there's Tulasi, and further there are deities. And all the voices and sounds of the street and the cars just enter. It's okay, everything. How are you? I say, it's okay, but I'm thinking, oh, say, okay, let's go eat some prasad, honor some prasad. We came to the kitchen, we put some prasad. There are some big buckets. The toilet is just there, not far away. We put it prasad. There is a huge cockroach to prasad. as if it was put for him, and I was like, Krishna, 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 and I was thinking, and all what I was seeing, all that with my material eyes. But after, when we started spiritual programs, our trips around the close villages, when we saw the desire and enthusiasm of the inhabitants, when we were performing and we would gather together and we were performing on the stage, there was the whole village, thousands of people, the whole village would come. And when we were stopped by their houses, we would see that people live with this. They're so into this culture of glorifying God and making prasad and chanting holy names and bhajans. All this is present. This is of their life. When I felt exactly the spiritual of my being there, of course, then I understood that there's no better place and more ecstatic, and that's why God Chaitanya was born here. The curtain of the material imagination lets you see that real core, spiritual core, that is the source of all the joy and bliss. Also here in this place, this material curtain doesn't let us to understand the spiritual core. What is the basement for everything? It is the love to God, and everything is built on that. But the material vision just blinds us and we cannot see the essence. Here you can go and understand it. But there it is very easy, because the whole atmosphere. And we started going around villages, and we were in the cities as well, in Dhaka, in the capital of Bangladesh. We started going around villages when there are so many holy places connected with Leelas of God Chaitanya, very many, where Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was preaching and building temples, and the place where Advaita was living, Advaita Acharya was born. And also the parents of God Chaitanya were living before going to Navadvipa. There is this place as well. And the second biggest city is on the shore of the ocean. There's also a holy place. The devotees created a big, beautiful mansion, and we were making celebrations there. Mahavishnu Maharaj was coming, different Maharajas were coming. We were traveling around Bengal together with the devotee. Bhaktivikash Maharaj was preaching there as well. Vayasaki Prabhu, American devotee, was preaching there as well and learning to sing Bengali bhajans. There are many devotees that are coming for celebrations. So this is the place where I get most spiritual inspiration. It's the concentrations of places, of games of Lord Chaitanya. I always remember them, and mentally I'm always there. And The devotees of Bengal always invite me, and we communicate, we talk to them, and we call each other. Recently, I called to devotees from Bangladesh, from Dhaka. I asked them how going. There are many devotees there. They just absorbed it all with the mother's milk. They claim that somebody needs a whole lifetime to learn to play like that. Looking at them, I was thinking I don't even want to start. Just being in that atmosphere, whatever we could absorb, what our bodies allowed us, the physical body. Of course, we were learning Bengali language. Guru Maharaj gave us the order to learn Bengali from the very beginning, not just somewhere, from the simple village people. We had to learn it well from the very beginning, so that's why we were studying with a professor for some months. And then, after communicating with other devotees, we were enlarging our... And then we were preaching, reading lectures, big celebrations, and the local people all inspired when they saw they were considering the white people as demigods. They were coming and see, wow, white skin. If the demigods came from those countries that they only could saw in the Hollywood movies, it was very rare for people to come there, and they were so enthusiastic. It's the Bengali hospitality is famous. And when you imagine that God Chaitanya was somewhere here, if we were in a village and we had this feeling that God Chaitanya is somewhere, he will come out from the home, from somewhere there. The atmosphere is so authentic, so magical. We were like beyond time there. Everybody was so eager to invite us. Everybody was waiting for us in every home after the program. We were surrounded by crowds all the time. They wanted to touch us, to ask us something. It's their tradition, it's their culture. And you come to a house, just give your feet, they will wash them. Don't go anywhere, just tell us how you live. Different questions. Everyone's looking at us very carefully. And please, then they ask you to bless everyone. You feel yourself like a spiritual teacher. You feel responsible. This is the culture. They would feed us in one house, and then they lead us to another house. Same thing in the other house. If you refuse to eat there, they say, "What are you? You're causing bad things for our house, so you need to eat." That's why we were getting fat. We couldn't avoid it. But I remember in one village, somebody said, "I'm not going to eat." I saw that they take the water from this lake and they wash there and they make prasad with it, and they don't have any other source of water. It's a small village. Of course, they take the water somewhere further away from another place. He said, "No, I'm not going to eat it." And there were so many people, hundreds of devotees. Nobody would start eating. while they just try to persuade him to try something a little bit. Everybody, all those people were trying to persuade him to try it, because he said, no, I'm not going to eat it because you're taking the water from that lake. But then they persuaded him to honor the prasadam and try it. Always the joy and bliss in those places. I'm so grateful to my Guru Maharaj and to Krishna that I was preaching in those places and I spent so much time there. And of course, you are asking about the language. This language in which we sing, it's a little bit different. It's the language of saints, and also there is a simple people's language, but we still understand it. Same as we understand some of our ancient literary works, like the word about Igor's army. It's Hare Krishna. If I haven't told something, please remind me. Thank you very much, Krishna Mishra Prabhu. You just helped us to go to that atmosphere. I actually managed to go myself there. Thank you. We got a very, very big answer for this question. I wanted to ask, do you still have time? We have 2 more questions. Can we talk about them? How much time do we have? Of course, let's answer. We have 10 more minutes, I think. Okay, let's do it then. About Sanskrit. In the scriptures, there's always the God is Hari with E, but in Mahamantra is Hare Krishna. What is the difference? And I'm always indecisive about what is the correct way. Why sometimes it's Hari and sometimes it's Hare. Hari, one of the names of God. We sing God Chaitanya would sing names of God, names of Krishna. Often about his different qualities. He was describing them. The names which contain certain qualities of God in themselves. He said, you were born in the dynasty of Yadu. And remembering is even more bhava, and the mood and the emotion is manifested. He remembers that he has so many gopis and friends. The moda, the Russian word for fashion, Bengalians, they made it all round. Instead of Madhava, they say Modava. Modan means Cupid, the god of love. That the god that even bewitched Cupid with his beauty, and remembers different qualities and different names of God. There are different names of God. They remind us of different qualities. This Bengali language is rounded, like Russian. We can compare with Ukrainian. It's more rounded. It gives more volume to words. and we cannot understand it in the beginning. I was listening, and for some time I couldn't understand what they were singing about, who they were singing about. Sometimes they say, instead of Lakshmi Devi, they would say Lokhi Devi. Or instead of Vyasadeva, they would say Vyasdev. I was thinking who people they are talking about. And they say Vyasdev. There are different words. For example, Varaha in Sanskrit. In Bengali it's Boroh. I noticed there are many words in Russian from Sanskrit which came through Bengali for some reason. Boroh. Hari is one of the names of God. That means for example, Hari Bilon, I lost. It means also to remove. It's one of the qualities of God. Hari means to remove all the bad. Whoever starts to serve to God, the God takes away everything that, all the obstacles that are on his way to him. Same, one of the saints is singing Acharya. Narottam Das Thakur. Hari Hari Bifale. Oh God, Hari Hari Bifale. Fruitlessly, uselessly, my Janama, my life has passed. Why? Manusha Janam, the human life being received. I wasn't honoring Radha and Krishna. So, like that, knowing and understanding, I was drinking poison. That's a famous bhajan. Hari is one of the words of addressing God, but when we say Hare Krishna, there's another word. It's not Hari, but it's Hara. This is the addressing, this word means energy or Srimati Radharani. Of Radharani. And Hara is the energy of God. And it is also one of the names of Mahadev, God Shiva. Hara Hara Mahadev. Hara Hara Ganga Maya also. They addressed when what regard Hare Krishna Mahamantra, in its initial form the word is Hara, but when we are calling for it, then it changes. Sometimes if I call someone, when the name can be one, but when I call him, there can be this calling case, vocative case, and that's why it changes. Oh Radha, oh, and the energy of that always you submerge us in such a depth that at some point you notice that you are not in this world. Thank you very much for this. Thank you very much, because I submerged myself as well. You inspire me with such good questions. We communicate together on these topics. The most important topic, actually, the most powerful, the most useful for us. That's how we can together delve together. That's why we inspire each other. Thank you very much. And also the notice for all our spectators, in 20 minutes, 2 p.m. Moscow, the last live streaming with Valmiki Prabhu. Please join us. There will be a very interesting thing for you. I will leave it as you. I will leave you intrigued. Thank you very much, Krishna Mishra Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Thank you to all the participants and the spectators and the devotees.